Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, friends and colleagues from across the world. Today we have two special edition webinars uh, pertaining artificial intelligence in dentistry. We will start with the topic of how you can transform your practice with artificial intelligence with my co-host, Dr. Hakhamian, who has been on this podcast numerous times, highly respected entrepreneur in the profession of dentistry. And we also have Miss Suri of Valmini. Um, Prior to going into the introductions, just some general housekeeping stuff as to our progress at the Global Summits Institute. We are very excited and honored to soon announce the first dentistry fund of its kind, which involve various baskets for our colleagues to be able to invest in. We are also going to be soon discussing the Top Doc Club, which is going to be the most prestigious private club for doctors or for anyone for that matter in the world. Also on the agenda of projects to be launched is the Dental AI Association, our hospital projects, the HEX Commission, the Universal School of Health, and Codinars that are ongoing, which will eventually lead to the Doctors World Gala. To start off the day, I'd like to introduce you guys to our speaker today. Mini Suri is the CEO and founder of Valmeni. She was with Core AI, a conversational AI company, as chief customer success officer. She comes from Uber, where she was the head of automation. Prior to that, she was a senior vice president of Citi, managing Citi services strategy, 2020 using automation by implementing and adopting nice niche technology products such as chatbots, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. In addition to this role, Minnie managed enterprise content management, ECM, electronic signature engineering and delivery management for cloud technology and DevOps enablement. Minnie completed her MBA from MIT at the Sloan School of Management, very prestigious institution. She has a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science from Anna University, Chennai, India, and a Master of Science in Information Technology from the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Thank you for joining us today, Minnie and Dr. Hakhamian.
Thank you. Mini, quite impressive resume. Did that say you worked for Uber?
That's correct, Raj.
Tell us about that. You set up the automation for all the Uber cars. That was that artificial intelligence automation?
So Raj, let me just backtrack. And first of all, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I am so pleased to be on this webinar with Dr. Shah and Dr. Hakhamian. They are my favorite high innovators, looking forward, pushing the envelope in technology. So I know we connect. So coming back to that, Arash, when I was at Citi, and this is 2020, 2015, 2014, 2015, board of Citi wanted us to really use automation. So my point is automation started from financial services as well. Without automation, we knew we could not bring the cost curve down. So after doing a lot of automation AI work, making Citi a conversational AI bank, I was hired by Uber as the head of AI automation so that we could bring that automation at Uber. Uber, you're absolutely right. Very, very amazing company, gets out to the market very aggressively. However, with a lot of people. And without automation, they cannot scale. And that's where my job was to help Dara, the CEO of Uber, and his leadership to present what AI and automation could bring to Uber. So that's where my role was, how we could really make this an AI automated company at the back. And we really ramped it up. Within 8 months, we had the whole platform ready. I stood up the whole team, and things were out there rolling for Uber.
Wow.
Excellent.
I think
Impressive.
we're privileged to have you in dentistry. Maybe after you finish automating AI and radiographs, and you can do AI automation for root canals, because I think that's I want my root canals automated next, please. So put that on your bucket list.
Arash, you're absolutely right. So coming from an outsider, right? I am not a dentist, but I see the way the dental practices are done. Not that the dentists do a phenomenal job, but coming from an outsider, this topic that you have chosen today, automating the dental office using AI and automation, is so important.
Yes.
What I see is dentistry uses many different vendors, right? And it's very hard for them, for the data to flow from imaging all the way to the back end. And that
Correct.
can be done with AI and automation. AI becomes a very important part when you take the x-rays, whether you do that in 2D or 3D or intraoral images, something or the other will keep coming. Even the doctor's notes, they need to be intercepted by AI. AI could become that aid to you as a dentist and
So,
highlighting things where
so
things are missing.
in that sense, Minnie, why Velmeni? Why can Velmeni help dentistry and dentists in that capacity?
So, first of all, Velmini means automation in Icelandic, just so that you know. So, we
Oh,
believe
wow.
automation to the core, even to the name. People think that Velmini is on my name, Mini, but it is automation. So, what Velmini can do, and we really understand the problems that the dentists face today. We know today 30% of diagnoses get missed. Not that our dentists are not, they don't know what they're doing, but Velmini's AI can, with that deeper vision, can really highlight, hey, Dr. Raj, see something is going on here. So you and your hygienist or anybody don't miss anything. So AI is becoming more and more prevalent so that you can, get like a little alert here, and you look through the problem, and obviously it becomes very easy conversation when you tell your patient what's going on. I always say, guys, that visual, pictures are worth thousand words. I know dentists really work hard with the patient, explaining them. But when you show them what those color boxes or contours are, bingo, things happen very easily. So that's
Many,
where Wellman's AI is. Mhm.
I literally was, almost born in a dental office. Have grown up around, my father and his practice, and just been around dentistry my entire life. And I know AI is everywhere these days. But dentists have done, they've gotten along just fine for the last 20, 30, for decades. Um, why would why would a dentist? I mean, I understand Chat GPT and maybe, having some fun conversations, but why would dentists adopt this new technology in their office and add this layer of technology to their practice?
Raj, dentists are not everywhere. They're running from room to room. Their practices are getting busy. And I know post-COVID, there's been scarcity of staff. Very hard to find people. And some dentists have actually closed down their dental offices. It's not that they cannot do things, it's just that they don't have enough people to work with them. At that point, AI is becoming even more important for them. Because they need someone, and I call it virtual radiologist in their team to really show them, hey, you haven't missed anything. We are there. This is something. Please take a deeper look at it, and so on. The thing is, other thing that why I say is that it's not that we are doubting, and I always say that AI is intelligent, but the dentists are wise. The final decision has to be made by the dentist. They are the drivers. They are the ones who are making the decision. However, I'm sure most of the dentists will really appreciate if they had someone in the team to go and point out things. And that's the best for the dentist, best for the patient, best for the whole care out, or I would say this makes a great team where things can move more quickly. And
So
the
so it's like
dentist can.
it's like having like a second set of hands, a second assistant almost.
Absolutely. And we call it second dentist. That's what Belmini calls second dentist or second opinion, whatever you may want to name it. Again, your visual or your virtual assistant always goes with you.
So hopefully,
Wow.
Minnie, it's not the same price as the second dentist. I hope it's a lot more affordable than hiring a second dentist. So I'm sure we'll get to that at some point.
AI is going to democratize everything in this respect also. And as you can say, AI is everywhere. It's a very powerful tool. It's not going back. So the dentist who will adopt will really gain out of it. And that's why
So
I really like. Mhm.
speaking of powerful tools that you just mentioned, so from what I understand, about 30% plus of pathologies are missed. How can this benefit patients and the doctor from the liability perspective and the patient from just the overall general treatment needs?
Great point. And I'll tell you a quick example and actually a life story here, Dr. Shah. Um, there's somebody in my office and his wife had come from India for past, and has been having a lot of oral problems. She went to the dentist. I wish she would have gone earlier. She found, obviously problems or cavities in her mouth. She got this x-rays and we ran through our AI. We found more problems. Not that AI is, as I said, AI is always learning. What really made her understand was she understood the problem. She took the problem in her hand and she said, now I'm going to go back to the dentist and get it fixed. So what AI is doing is helping the patient take the health or their oral health in their own hands because they understand better. As I said, they think AI being a third party. So they feel like a neutral party being there is sort of like they can trust. So it's a trust factor that is being formed. From the legal perspective, it's very important because it's in the report. Now, we don't say that if the AI has detected, a dentist has to go and treat everything. However, dentist makes the decision based on other things because they're looking at the patient's age, the bone, their past history. However, from legal perspective, it was detected, it was acknowledged, but not treated for other reasons. So that's another liability save for the dentist. Second is the patient getting educated. Third, you have a better record. You can always go back and you can see what AI have done. So all those things make everything very smooth, seamless, and as I said, fits the bill of automation.
So Minnie, what I'm hearing is that this gives another tool for the dentists to use. It increases transparency from the patient side. It adds value by giving them this additional trust. Usually they go to Google, but now they'll use a tool that's made by and for the dental profession that gives them more accurate information and really validates what the doctor is looking at and ultimately recommending. But we all have this like inherent fear that AI is going to at some point replace us. What it sounds like, this is not a replacement of the dentist. It is, a tool that enhances or improves the dentist's ability to communicate with their patients and better serve their patients. Do we have to be worried about AI replacing us at some point, with this type of technology?
Great point, Arash. And I'll say that, most of the dentists or hygienists, or I would say hygienist, there is a lot of stress on them. You know why? It's not because the way they're doing the treatment, it's the repeatability of the same task, right? If you're doing the same task again and again and day in, day out, you get tired, you get stressed, you get really worn out. What AI is going to do is actually going to take those repeatable tasks and make it easier so that the dentist or the hygienist or your staff can do something more which is required, which you can never get to because your day is filled. Now, I just want to add a little bit thing of what we do for AI. Now, AI, as for Velmini, is completely built by the radiologist or the dentist for the dentist. Velmini has a very strong Velmini dental board, which, the dental board means the dentists come together, they provide the domain knowledge. We are just the technology heads. We cannot determine the domain which you have. Your knowledge is the knowledge that AI has to learn. We have really a large team of radiologists who actually look at these x-rays. They mark or they they tag the images, they basically give the images to the AI or the machine learning or the data scientist, and then the data scientists build the product. So you can see that how the knowledge, the right domain knowledge passes to the dental or the data science team so that a AI product can be built. Now, what other thing that we want to say is that AI is like a child who's taught something again and again by different variation. One thing I always say that we build AI, which is really learned or is made to learn with variability of data globally to bring it to your local office. So think of it, global learning got to your local office. And again, this learning is again to make, not to take your jobs, not to take anybody's job, but make you more efficient so that you can get to, as you were saying, maybe other treatments, maybe something that you've been wanting to do in your dental office, but you just didn't have time because of these mundane, repeatable tasks. And that's what we want to do.
Minnie,
So
I'm gonna
go ahead.
coin something right now on the show, and I want credit for it. Okay, so don't forget this. It's live. Probably hundreds of thousands of people are gonna watch this. So dentists use loops, right? They use loops to see the cavities, to see everything up close. It's like a microscope. They're saying this is like loops for X-rays, right? It's almost like it's digital loops for X-rays that helps you pinpoint everything. At the end of the day, you're tired, you forgot your glasses. This thing will identify everything and draw a circle or a square around it, and then it allows you that opportunity to ensure you're not missing anything, right? So you got to think of a nice name, branding name, digital loops for X-rays.
I love that, Raj. Thank you so much.
That's what comes to mind when you're speaking. Go ahead, Dr. Shah. You're gonna ask a question.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting point that you mentioned, taking away tasks from the front staff or other team members in the office not to do repetitive stuff. People always ask me, how do you manage to maintain, we're in our 7th year of practice and we maintain 5-star reviews on all platforms, probably one of the few in Southern California. And the way we do it is I outsourced all the insurance stuff from the front desk to a third party. And now my front desk people just spend all the time in the world making the patients happy as they walk into the door until the minute they leave, be it getting them refreshments, whatever, even a blanket, whatever it is. It makes them happy to go extra and beyond. So I assume that when you say AI and automation can help dental offices, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? What else can we be doing when AI is doing all this stuff?
So AI, what you've heard is on the diagnostic side, right? We can also do AI on the notes, NLP. AI can, or voice AI can transcribe your notes, right? Which means the doctor speak to the computers. Why do they even have to touch? AI through virtual reality. Virtual reality really is changing, and you saw Apple just launched, but we've been doing this now for some time, and we have seen the virtual reality or augmented reality can really be a game changer, which means you could have better patient education. You can have the doctors do, I call it, they can do teledentistry through virtual reality. They could be talking to their dental offices in multiple offices. And Arash, I know, and Dr. Shah, I know you guys are building multiple dental offices, right? Now, how do you keep tab of it? You can be calling people through virtual reality. You could really do a consult. There is so much that the technology can offer and really transform your lives to something more meaningful where you're really solving tough dental problems, right? One thing that I have realized, and I've been a data person from city to Uber to core to everywhere, I've seen the data needs to flow from one system to the other very seamlessly, whether it comes through your AI, VR, whatever. It's the data, and when you get the information in a very seamless and easy way, you become very efficient. And that's where there are so many cases of AI that we can think of. This is, I would just say, we have scratched the surface. We have a long way to go, and there is so much that we have in our pipeline, in our roadmap, that I think we are very excited for this amazing 2024 that we think we have really embarked with.
I mean, it sounds
Excellent.
like with Citibank, with Uber, you've been very focused on providing a better customer experience, right? And that's one of the key things I think AI sounds like it can do with illustrating to them what their problems are. You talk about VR headsets, you're talking about patient education, remote consults. Tell us a little bit more outside of helping dentists and associates identify pathology. What are some of the patient experiences or benefits that you see coming out of this?
Excellent point. Raj, patient acceptance is the number one metrics for any dental office. And this is what I've realized. And literally, this was my soul searching how I can really help dentists. And how do we do that? And again, I'm not saying that the dentists don't do it. There are different ways of explaining it to the patient. Now, this is new era. People are moving very fast. You have a lot of millennials, you have young patients coming into your dental office. They want different ways to be explained. And you've got to be speaking the language they understand. So if you think of it, if my kids only like texting, they don't like when I pick up the phone, and that's the way I communicate with them. So what I'm saying is, when we do educate the patient through, let's say, virtual reality, I mean, it's not that the same content is not there on their computers, on the TV. Absolutely, it's there. But can you imagine if you have focus attention, you are into the experience? It's almost like seeing an avatar 3D versus 2D. I mean, who would like to go back to 2D after 3D, right? But you have no phones, nothing, you're not distracted, you learn everything, and you come back and say, I get it. The time saved for the patient, time saved for you as a doc. I got it. Let's get started. That's what you want to hear. And that's what we want to make sure the technology of today is made so easy for your dental office that you can use it. And that's where I feel patient education is very important. And when we merge that with these technologies, I think bingo, we can make it happen.
So you brought up a lot of grand issues that we face in dental practice, including patient communication, patient education, and some of the administrative tasks that we encounter, and all these solutions that come with it. So you've developed an amazing product over the years with all of the knowledge and expertise you have, and I've realized you brought in some of the most well-respected clinicians onto your board, including some members that are former ADA presidents and so forth, and everyone is receptive. As you do your presentation, could you kindly give us information on how we can get involved with the company that's young, well, many, and B, basically be A on the side of where we could get involved as dentists and growing this company, and B, and how we can be involved as users. We would really, really appreciate it. Dr. Hakhamian, do you have any other questions before we move to session?
I want to know on a broader scale. I mean, yeah, it sounds great. You have the past American ADA presidents. You have I looked at your executive team. Sounds like you had Mark Zuckerberg's father is one of your advisors, which I'm interested to see how this works out. Is there a relationship between Facebook and your company, or are we going to be doing consults over Facebook? I'm interested to see. But I think on a broader level, where's this going to take dentistry? There's billions of people that are still underserved. Does this have a capacity to help people in underserved communities, people with accessibility issues, and really bring dentistry outside of the brick and mortar, which increases the access to care? What are your thoughts on how AI will revolutionize and expand dentistry as a whole, as an industry?
Great
Great
question.
point, Arash. Great question, Arash. If you see my tagline, it's like 1 billion people if we can improve their oral health using AI. And I think you and I have had many conversations, right? You're into teledentistry yourself. One way we can make things easy is through AI. You have the means of taking the x-rays or taking their intraoral, through your intraoral cameras, but how do we translate all this information? And that is the AI. And I'll tell you this very interesting. I was in Casablanca, which is last year, and they showed me a digital, like a van which would go, which was equipped with the digital X-rays and stuff. But the thing is, which was going to go into deep remote villages. And that's where we said, we'll provide Well-Mini's AI. The reason is because we can actually go, once they take the X-rays right away, we can tell them what to be careful and we point the things to them. And now they can have those patients or those people contact a real doctor or the doctor or the dentist in the van. So my point is, there is no way to reach out to these remote areas without any AI or digital, ways which you are also striving to do. So point is, for us, we believe oral health is a gateway to general health. If oral health is taken care on time, people will basically, I say, incipient caries would not get into root canal, which is a lot expensive for these people. There are some people are below poverty line. We can help them save from missing tooth or falling tooth. These young people, they can be saved. We can find a lot of demographic regions where there could be, we find there are high cases of heart problems, and that could be related to oral. So there are a lot of things that AI can do in these areas where human or dentists are very, very scarce. And that can only happen through our AI together with, teledentistry or mobile dentistry or some way. And that can be very powerful in general for the community. So we think a lot from that perspective.
Amazing.
Amazing. Wow. So you please kindly let everyone know on the cast of what the launch date is for your product. I know you've been recently finalizing FDA matters, how we can get involved, how we can invest, how we can benefit from the product in our practices. That would be highly appreciated. Unless you don't have any other questions, Dr. Arash, we can move to session.
No, Minnie, I just want to say on the day that Uber went public, I gave a lecture called The Uberization of Dentistry, and how that Uber model of increasing transparency, convenience, communication, I think it's overdue in dentistry. And so what better to have someone from Uber come and Uberize dentistry. So it's a pleasure to have you, and we're certainly thankful that you've set your eyes on dentistry, and lucky to have you. So thank you for that.
I think
Thank
we
you
were
for
supposed to meet. That was the destiny, Rush, because yes, I was there when Uber got its IPO, and I think that was meant to be. So yes, I am very excited to be in dentistry and see how dentistry can be involved.
Amazing.
So
perfect.
what we're going to do is we're going to, for the audience, we want to go over some of the slides, and I think you've heard me speak, and I'm going to run through some of the videos which you will love
Yes.
to see
So we're gonna
how.
go on mute and zoom out, and you got the floor, doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Shah, and thanks, Arash. Let me know if everybody can see my screen. So Well-Mini, as I said, we are pioneering into AI-driven dental care. Oral health is a gateway to general health. And oral health, if well taken care of, can really affect and improve your general health. There are cases which have come out recently, how oral health is related to systemic health. Again, big problem. I'm not going to repeat again, but diagnoses get missed. It's not our dentists don't know what they're doing. It's just that they're busy. They get distracted. We find diagnosis at least 30% on an average. And if you find a young dentist, even more. So how do we handle that kind of problem that industry is facing? Very inconsistent treatment plan because of this, low acceptance rate, poor patient experience, all those things, affect the way the dentistry is done, the way the patient care happens, and how it's a burden on our community and on our society. I call it 256 shades of gray. This is how the x-rays look like. And again, x-ray is not the complete treatment, but it is part of the treatment or the diagnosis that the dentists do today. Again, we've seen that our eyes get tired. Our eyes are looking at many other different things. And it's very possible these shades can be very confusing and can be misleading. So what does Velmini do? We are helping to transform the dental practice using computer vision, word vision, like how Arash just said, you had those special loops to see the problems. We have these special loops, which are computer vision, to really see the problem pixel by pixel, very minutely, so that the AI, once get trained, can really decipher one problem to the other. However, AI is always learning, and AI learns fast if you give the right data. I call it garbage in, garbage out. So we need to make sure correct data gets passed to the AI. Once the AI from all these sources learn, can really work well and be a good assistant to you as your dentist. We can see computer vision, AI in 2D, all kinds of x-rays, whether it's periapical, bite-wing, panoramic, or it could be your 3D. And once these AI models work in a matter of seconds, they are never tired. They always are working 24/7. It takes less than 5 seconds. They can go and mark these findings with different colors, and then it leaves for the dentist to make the final decision. We know the dentists are on the driver's seat. So again, AI are always learning. Crowdsource AI goes smarter, which means we need the data from all over, and we need dentists from all over to help us in this. 3D is a problem. 3D is a lot of data. It's a lot of volume. It's very daunting for some of the dentists who are bringing CBCT because they're afraid if they miss something, that becomes a legal issue. And AI is a bridge here. AI can help do those segmentations, point to those areas, the concerns, the pathologies, and eventually get into virtual implant planning. And that is one thing which can help the dentist feel very comfortable in their own dental office. They don't have to rely on something else. And that's where Velmini is also looking into how do we help, enhance the AI learning using 3D. Now, let me play this video. Hope you enjoyed this session, and I will be back after this video.
Explore the world of 3D dentistry with Velmini's state-of-the-art CBCT technology. Maxillofacial anatomy is complex and difficult to diagnose using traditional X-rays. Velmini's sophisticated AI segments structures like jaws, teeth, maxillary sinuses, mandibular canals, and airways. Show only the desired anatomy, focus on significant areas, and make patient education a breeze. Upload a CBCT scan to Velmini's AI. Your final segmented output will be ready for viewing and diagnosis within minutes. You'll see 95 to 98% accurate 3D information. That's among the best in the AI arena, and that accuracy empowers you to create rapid and effective dental treatment protocols. Sleep apnea is a common problem. Velmini's 3D airway analysis identifies narrow and obstructed airspace, which is color-coded for easy identification. Help your patients stop storing and start sleeping. Cysts can weaken teeth and bone and cause other complications. Velmini's 3D AI reveals cysts within the jaws that would otherwise be difficult to detect. Before extracting an impacted wisdom tooth, it's critical to know how the tooth correlates with the mandibular canal. Avoid nerve damage by revealing these structures with Velmini's 3D AI. And impacted canines can also cause complications. For orthodontic evaluation, rely on the Velmeni AI to accurately assess the relation to adjacent teeth and decide between braces and extraction. TMG problems are an issue. Use Velmeni's 3D artificial intelligence to reveal the joint and make the best decisions for your patients. And Velmeni in 3D even offers the option to view 3D images in 3D space with VR goggles. 3D is the future of dentistry. Velmeni is the future of 3D dentistry. Ask for a complimentary demonstration of Velmeni's powerful diagnostic tools, integrated treatment planning capabilities, and easy-to-use 3D CBCT imaging solutions today.
So I hope you enjoyed what we showed you in this video. So again, we are, as Dr. Shah said, we are basically going through FDA process, but we have a great vision, great plan, what we are doing both in 2D and 3D. I just want to sum up, our main focus through AI is to really help increase or reduce that misdiagnosis. We are leading, or we are working very actively in both 3D and 2D space. We want to make things very easy for the dentist. We want to make sure that the whole automation space, along with AI, can make things better, reduce the repeatability. The dentist can do better things that they're supposed to do, and get challenged with more tough cases that they don't have time to do. Obviously, the idea here is, how do we put everything together in a single view so the dentist or the hygienist or the dental staff don't have to move from screen to screen to systems. Things could be actually be obtained from one area, and that's what we want them to live. And have a great archival for a reference. If ever in the future they want to go back, they have the whole track record and historical view. The most single important metrics I say is when the patient accepts the treatment. It's very important for both the dentist, for the patient, for everyone. And as we said, dentists are always the decision maker. They are the ones who will determine what gets done on the patient or not. And finally, for the dentists, AI also means that there's a lot of revenue is left on the table, which means they could obviously be treating more. They could also, rightfully get what they deserve for that treatment. And again, touches both the top line and the bottom line. As I said, we are also raising funds. We are a startup company, almost 2.5 years into existence. Our headquarters is based out of Silicon Valley, Palo Alto. We have a great team of board members as well as leadership team. Dr. Shah rightly said, we are really inviting more dentists, radiologists who are high innovators, who believe in AI, to really lead the pack. Because this is your field. If you understand the problem, you also can help us solve the problem for you. So with that, I am just going to say that if anybody is interested, please reach out to me. It's minnie@velmini.com. I can also send that information out to everyone. You can look at my name in LinkedIn. I'm very active there, Minnie Suri. We love to hear from you. And if you really want to get involved in our Velmini Dental Board, please come on. Everyone, you can look at,
That's excellent. Glad that we had the opportunity to have this conversation with you. Just as exciting as it may be, people are very interested in your topic. As I was just watching the stats of the distribution of this Podinar so far, over 200 groups have been exposed to it by the viewership. And from the comments, it's very exciting. We had some world-renowned figures on here. I just saw Scott Gans make comments, and Dr. Enrico Lai and others. So very exciting. You are on the right path to winning over our hearts. Anyone that can help us take off some of the administrative load is highly welcome at the Institute. So as to questions, Dr. Arash, I'll yield to you. What are the
Yeah.
questions you might have about this investment opportunity as well as this usage opportunity?
So a couple of questions, I guess. So one, it sounds like you want dentists who understand this technology to have the opportunity to gain from investing in it. And yeah, we don't know how to invest in a lot of things because, we don't learn about the stock market and business. So maybe this is something people who see the benefit can invest in. I want to know, why should we invest in you? Like, there's other AI companies that have hit the market. What makes you different? What makes you better? Why should people invest in your company and not some of the other ones?
Great question, Arash. I get this question all the time. The reason why I say why invest in Wellmany, because Wellmany is truly innovative. We very quickly realized CBCT was the game changer, was actually going to be the standard
Yeah.
of care. So we not only did 2D, but we are really moving very fast in CBCT. The reason is the more the dentists understand CBCT and they could use our AI with CBCT, I'm sure that can help them. Second is we very clearly understood the problems in a dental office, patient education. Not that the dentists don't do the patient education, but how effectively can we do the patient education, which is not other people have thought about. So if you think of it, we are pioneers. We call ourselves innovative. We bring things out very quickly, and we bring very quickly to the dental offices. Now, as I said, we have over 50 dentists in our Wellme Dental Board, and more are joining because they understand that we've hit their problems. The one thing that I do also want to mention is not only that this is the only company which is open to the dentist to come and invest. How many AI companies can the dentist have invested in?
Yeah, that's true.
Probably not many, probably very limited. And the reason why we say is because we want them to feel this is their company. We want them to feel that this is the company that will take them, that will help them, complete their vision. So that's why Wellmany is open to the dentist. And we are saying, come with whatever you want to. We are not like, we want you to feel part of this company. We want you to be the community with Wellmany. And
So
I think
they
that's
don't have to come in with
it.
like millions and millions of dollars like they're investing in Uber. They can invest whatever they want.
They could invest as low as 10,000, 15,000, whatever that works for them.
Right.
We are fine. Yeah.
So I have another thing I want to ask you is, I work very closely with insurance companies and carriers, and they're using artificial intelligence to scan all the x-rays. So it feels almost like you're empowering the dentist to have the same tools that the insurance companies have at their disposal. Can you speak about that? Is this going to become a standard? And how do you see this playing out over the next couple of years?
Great point, because the dentists are even scarce on the payer side. They also have dentists looking at the claims. Now, if millions of claims are coming, they're short-handed. And because the claims get delayed, that means it affects your provider's payment. The whole workflow is kind of disrupted here because if the providers don't get paid, how are they going to run their practice? Now, and the payer side have actually realized that they need AI. This is an efficiency that they're all looking for. And the thing is, the more they are adding AI, whether it comes from provider side, eventually the payers will say, we'll take, if the providers have the AI already annotating, already sending the information, we don't have to double, triple do the same work. It's an easy verification. So if you think of it, every area in dentistry will have an AI. So providers will be the starting point where they will do their x-rays, they will annotate using AI. The middle tier, which is a clearinghouse, will basically do a check saying that looks good. Let's pass it on the payers, and payers are going to say, it's AI, it meets a threshold fast. Can you imagine the turnaround time, which probably takes 60, 90 days, maybe matter of hours? or maybe minutes.
Maybe before the patient leaves the office, you'll already have your claim approved.
Exactly. And that's where everybody's striving. And that's a good thing, Arash. There is the same work, I think the providers need to really understand that if they crank this thing faster, they're helping they're helping themselves, basically.
So maybe at some point in the very near future, as we take the X-rays, the AI will tell us the probability of a claim being actually approved in real time as we're treatment planning. So we're treatment planning based on a very high likelihood of this actually being approved by that person's specific carrier. Maybe based on previous data, or maybe even with a collaborative effort with the insurance companies. That's very
And
interesting.
it will do a real-time check. Hey, you missed this. You better add this or rescan. The scan's not taken.
Yeah.
Can you
Maybe
imagine how
fix
much
the
time?
angles.
Exactly.
Maybe, and if you could dictate to the assistants, maybe this particular X-ray needs to be retaken, that it's a cone cut, that would be amazing. I had one last question, which is really important to me because my patients are like family, and I think to most dentists, their patients are become family, and I'm very secure on my family's data, and I don't want some third-party company taking my patient's data or my office data and misutilizing it. What do you do to protect our patient's data? And what is a concern that dentists have when working with maybe others who don't take the same measures that you do?
Uh, a very good point, Rush. First of all, we are HIPAA compliant. We are HIPAA certified. We basically believe that the patient data has to be secured. Now, I come from a very stringent background of financial services, where customer data was very important. So it runs in me, the whole risk, and so I've gone through many audits in my previous lifetime. For us, it's very important we encrypt the data right from the source. We take the data, we keep it encrypted at rest, in flight. Hey, we want to make sure that everything is safe for all the dental data that you have, because this is your patient, your family's data. So we at Wellmini try to make sure that our systems are very secured, right? And we are constantly monitoring all of them. The other thing is when we take the data, we try to anonymize, because again, when we are using for any model training or AI training, we make sure everything is anonymized. And if we are taking your data on your cloud, everything is secured and encrypted.
Amazing. Well, kudos to you and your team. I'm excited to see what happens, and just really excited about AI and dentistry as a whole. And it was a very interesting and insightful discussion, and it was a pleasure to have you sharing this with the audience.
I think this is a great morning that I spent with both you and Dr. Shah, and you, Raj, and I've had several amazing conversations with you, but this morning was very special for all of our viewers who have been attending this, because please stay tuned. There's so much in AI that can happen. We are just tasting just the beginning of AI. And really, as Arash was mentioning, this can really transform your practice. Can you imagine when you get your claims approved, your team being not tired, you are not losing people because of overwork? There's so many benefits that you could get that people think that otherwise. So I'm going to pass on to you, Dr. Shah. Thank you so much for having me. It was my honor and my pleasure. And so, Arash, with you, always a pleasure to have and amazing conversations.
Amy, where do people reach you if they want to find you? What's the best place to reach you?
So they could actually reach out to me on LinkedIn, Mini Suri, or they could send an email at mini, M-I-N-I, at Wellmini, WELMENI.com.
Okay, wonderful.
Mini@valmany.com. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Hakhamian, for taking time on a Sunday to join us here. Mini, just to up the ante, I'll be your first customer right away. I'm very excited to learn what the software can do for my practice, and also participating in all your wonderful ventures. And I thank you for allowing me to be part of it in the near future. And I look forward to transforming my practice with artificial intelligence.
Minnie, you should get Keanu to invest. He's rich. He should be one of
I will.
the
I'm in.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt. After this, the first thing is to have the practice done. And speaking a little bit in the green room with Minnie, they do some cool stuff with holograms and whatnot, and in the waiting room where patient education can commence before a procedure is done. I'm super excited to implement the system into our practice right away, and I look forward to working with you. Perhaps we can come back in 6 months, 2 years time, and discuss the progress and success you have had in dentistry. Welcome to our profession.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the welcome. Take care.
Thank you. You guys have a great Sunday. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, guys.